Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allevo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. I'm Morgan Anderson out of Athens County. It's 41 degrees outside, but it feels like 22 thanks to the wind advisory. It'll be 34 degrees tomorrow for your Thanksgiving Day. Taking a look at your agricultural headlines, Trump raises soybean deal with China's Xi Jinping. President Trump says he brought up China's soybean deal with the U.S. during his phone call this week with China's President Xi Jinping. Trump posted on Truth Social that he discussed soybeans and other farm products with China, adding that there's been significant progress on both sides in keeping our agreements current. But with just over a month to go before the end of the year, China has bought just a fraction of the U.S. soybeans it agreed to buy. Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley weighs in.
I've heard originally that when China bought about 1 million metric tons, that it was a show of good faith. And since then, I've heard that between now and the end of the year, they're going to buy about 12 million metric tons.
And that raises an obvious question.
Will it actually happen? I keep reminding people that China's trade with the United States is very unpredictable, and so maybe it isn't going to be carried out.
So far, Grassley says,
farmers are still losing about $1.50. Maybe some farmers would say more than that on their soybeans.
And Grassley had this advice for the president's advisors.
I wish that his economic advisors in the White House would not advise him to say that just because we increased our sales to China and soybeans are up $1, that it's a famine to feast for the farmers because you still aren't making a profit.
Justifying the need, Grassley argued for USDA's planned announcement next week of a multi-billion-dollar tariff aid package. Next up, our Joel Panorwood brings us an update on South America.
Time for this week's South American Update. Thanks to Seed Genetics Direct, the #1 fastest growing and largest Ohio-based independent seed company. Online today at ohioagnet.com. Thanks to Rafael Gallo. South America's grain outlook still looks comfortable on paper, he says, but a closer look suggests the margin of safety for both soybeans and corn might be thinner than USDA numbers imply. In Brazil, soybean acres continue expanding, and CONAB projects another record crop near 177 million tons. USDA, though, sits closer to 175 million. The weather picture is uneven, as a developing La Nina late in 2025 could mean too much rain in parts of the central west and drier than normal conditions in southern Brazil, Paraguay, and northern Argentina. Those are areas historically prone to yield drops. Domestic demand is also tightening the balance sheet. Brazil exported more than 100 million tons of soybeans so far this year. But internal use is rising fast thanks to livestock feed needs and a higher biodiesel mandate. Corn looks even tighter, depending on the source. Brazil expected to produce 131 to 139 million tons next season. Consumption pushing above 90 million tons, driven heavily by the booming corn ethanol industry, which is now responsible for roughly a quarter of Brazil's ethanol output. Argentina is recovering with stronger corn prospects and a roughly 48 to 49 million ton soybean crop, but weather remains volatile. Paraguay also bouncing back, adding more soy volume to the region. For U.S. producers, the key message is South America still big on supply, but rising internal demand and significant weather risk mean global markets might not be as well padded as headline numbers originally suggest. You can find the full South American update at ohioagnet.com, thanks to Seed Genetics Direct. I'm Joel Panorwood reporting.
Thanks, Joel. Let's get a quick look at our afternoon weather update brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com.
Much colder air dominating the state of Ohio here today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you. Low pressure is lifting up through Michigan and the Great Lakes in general. Very strong circulation around this low, creating some very gusty winds. Lake effect cloud cover will be affecting Ohio through the balance of today and a good part of tomorrow, especially in northern areas. And I won't rule out lake effect precipitation. Today, we're seeing these strong winds come and blow the waters across Lake Erie vary rather substantially. High winds, or rather high waves, at the far end of the lake, and we are going to be seeing some lake effect creep up in north central and northeastern parts of Ohio. A little bit lower wind tomorrow, but still plenty of lake influence. Friday we get a little sunshine. Moisture comes back for later in the weekend. Saturday afternoon, Sunday could see snow again in many areas. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Now let's recap how the markets closed, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. December corn up 8 1/4 at 4.31 3/4 cents. March corn up 7 cents at 4.45 1/4. May corn up 6 1/4 at 4.53 even. January beans up 6 3/4 cents at 11.31 1/2. March beans up 6 cents at 11.40 3/4. May beans up 5 1/2 at 11.50 1/2. December wheat up 1 3/4 at 5.29 even. July wheat up 2 1/4 at 5.57 3/4 cents. And September wheat up 2 1/2 at 5.70 even. Those were your afternoon closing markets. Thanks for joining us. Have a happy Thanksgiving. This is the Ohio AgNet.